Moving on to the next section here. So we're looking at a distribution of data. So a distribution of data shows the observed or theoretical frequency of each possible data value. The shape of a distribution can be seen by drawing a curve over its histogram. So we have a negatively skewed distribution here. Okay, so negatively skewed. That is when the mean is less than the median. Okay, so your mean is here. It's less than the value of your median here. And the majority of the data are on the right side of the mean. So you see that larger values to the right there. Okay, then we have a symmetric distribution. Okay, that is when the mean and median are approximately equal and they are in the center. Okay, so that's when you see that normal bell curve there. Your mean and median in the center. The last one is positively skewed distribution. Okay, that is when your mean is greater than the median. Okay, and your data are on the left. So it goes up really high first here and then back down. So when a distribution is symmetric, the mean and standard deviation accurately reflect the center and spread of the data. However, when the distribution is skewed, these statistics are not as reliable. Recall that outliers have a strong effect on the mean of a data set, while the median is less affected. That's when we were finding those outliers using the interquartile range. And yes, you did just have to do that on your quiz. Similarly, when a distribution is skewed, the mean lies away from the majority of the data toward the tail. The median is less affected, so it stays near the majority of the data. So you can choose appropriate statistics to represent the data set, depending whether it's skewed or normal. So if your distribution is symmetric, you're going to use the mean and the standard deviation. Okay, so if it looks like this middle one up here, so I highlighted it pink because I highlighted it pink here. So if it's symmetric, you'll use the mean and standard deviation to identify what's going on in your histogram. If it's skewed, okay, if your distribution is skewed either negatively or positively, then you want to use the 5-number summary. Okay, those are your quartiles and your min and your max to describe your data. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and you're going to use a graphing calculator here to enter these values. So our first example, we're going to make a histogram. So we want to use a graphing calculator to create a histogram, then describe the shape. So first, I have all these steps laid out for you here to use on your graphing calculator. So first you want to turn it on. You want to press stat and then enter. So stat is here on mine. So you want to press stat. And when you press enter, you're actually just pressing this edit or number 1 here. So you can either press 1 or you can press enter. Okay, and it comes up with list 1, list 2, list 3. If you have something in your list, go up and press clear and then enter, and then it should all disappear. Okay? And then what you want to do is enter all of these values in this chart. I promise it's going to be way easier. At least you don't have to calculate the mean and the mode and all that stuff. Okay, so enter all of these values. I already have mine listed here. You do need to press enter after each one. Okay, so enter each and every value there. Yep.
Just like that there, it works.
That,
Press second.
enter.
So I type in every single number.
No, all of them.
Or 20. Click and clear. Nothing's working. Gotta go up there, Eric. Oh. Wait, that's the one. Thank you, clears.
Then you have to enter. Clear, enter. Now enter all of those values in L1. Maybe you should do your math.
I have nothing else to do.
You did to follow your math?
I don't understand it. Like, I literally don't understand.
That's when you actually do it.
Alright, I'm done.
Okay.
Stays forever. Can you do it for me?
No.
I feel like I definitely put it wrong over here somewhere. I
How
definitely.
many do you have?
I don't know.
You're 24, you need like 32.
What?
Missing like a row somewhere.
No, I was scrolled up.
You scroll down.
I have 33.
Well, you're on.
Or 32.
Yeah, 32.
I have one.
They got a lot of pop on this. Oh, shoot. How do you go back?
Click the.
Go up to the one that you did
Click
down.
the down arrow. There's
Uh,
no quick way. There's no quick way to go back.
No, you go all the way up. See, if you're at the top.
Oh,
So what do you do?
I'm waiting until everybody gets the whole data set in.
yeah, at least we're not done anymore.
If you're done and you want to try and follow the directions on your note sheet, you can.
How do we do it?
Oh,
2 seconds. Start plot.
Stat plot.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Up or left? The gray button.
Oh, in the top?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Enter, enter.
Fine.
How's life for you?
Anybody still entering the data set? All the numbers? Do we have all the numbers? All right, then on our note sheet here, it says what to do next. We're going to press second. So you want to press your second key and then stat plot.
Yeah, I'm definitely lost.
Okay, so we're going to press the second button
I
here.
definitely screwed this up.
And then stat plot is up here. Okay? So press stat plot. What do you mean you messed up?
Messed up. That's what
Oh, just
messed up.
press second and then press stat plot. It'll keep your list.
How do you get rid of something?
So if I can clear, it'll keep my list.
So when you press enter, enter, it should turn this on. Okay, so it should say on
How do I get
and L1. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm still lost. How do I get rid
I
of
did
this?
my right. Here, come with me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Second, stat plot.
Oh, there's that plot.
On, enter. Okay, it should be on.
And we'll plot too.
If I where's
Yep,
that
and
from?
you press that top
Turn
on,
it on.
that, yep.
Oh,
You click the on button, Eric. It's kind of self-explanatory.
yeah, but
On.
Not even type it in.
on.
Bro, so we have to do this for all these plots? Like, bro.
Can you do it on mine?
I don't know if mine's even right.
It's literally just click remember. You know, cheat code? This is the cheat code.
Yeah, it's up, down, left, right,
I think that's what you're supposed to do, but I don't know.
By the way, it's
What is this? What's this frequent list?
Yeah. Freaking picture.
Scroll down to view the summary.
I don't know. I tried following the directions and then I clicked
You find snap lock, it's not
snack. Yeah, you
Well,
know,
I'm pretty sure it'll be a lot easier.
Var stat.
not really sure.
I'm in var stat. Is that right?
I know.
Is that right?
But
Yeah, you're right, snap.
No, var stat. I'm past that.
Technically, you do that, you still be alive, you can still pull it.
God, Brandon, you gotta kind of make me feel so dumb.
Right. Like, hello. That's right.
Like, if you, like, start moving
Did
your
you say
forward,
on?
and as you go back, you're gonna drop, it's still moving
You're
forward.
too far ahead.
What?
What?
Feel that?
Sure.
Okay, so yours should look like this, right?
What happens if it doesn't?
Does it not?
Kickflip.
Did you do any of the buttons that I told you to?
I was just, whatever you put me to is wherever I
hit
Okay,
enter,
well,
and
I
went
told you what
down,
to do
and then
next.
selected the
Why is
Okay.
that freaking-
So now you want to look at these graphs and you can scroll through them,
Oh, yeah.
okay?
Why you-
You want to choose this one,
Yeah, I did.
okay, and press enter so that it chooses it,
I hit enter.
okay? Now you want to adjust the window to your dimensions. So that means you need to click on the window button,
Where's the window? Oh, like the window.
okay?
To the wall.
A lot of numbers here, so it's not right.
Your window for this problem, your X min is going to be 200.
What about
I know,
your
you gotta change it.
X
Wait, stop.
You got to change it. So X min,
X max is like 8.
type in 200.
Oh, yeah, it's 1,000.
For X max, I put 1010. Just so that you can see it a little bit better.
That's their scale.
What did you click?
Okay.
Seth, what
Our
did you
scale
click?
there.
Scale is 100 because if you press 1, that's going to be
Oh, mine's
a lot between these two. I have my Y min at -1 because your graph isn't going to go below the x-axis anyways. So you could say 0 if you wanted to instead of -1. And then your Y max I did as 10.
Yeah.
And then scale can be 1.
Oh, there, and then what do we press?
Okay, then you can press graph.
Whoa, mine looks the same as yours.
Nothing happened.
Graph.
Why isn't yours doing
Supposed to
mine?
do that on the paper.
You have another graph on yours.
Because it's
How do you, wait, what? Oh.
Wrong,
it
right?
looks like 200.
There's another graph on yours.
Ah, shit,
Somebody
mine
has
does
the
not look
Y
like that.
equals graph on here.
Dang, I'm special.
So what does yours look like?
100.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, mine's not right.
I thought it was
See what?
better.
Yeah, just fix it for them.
Mine's wrong.
Why does this graph look exactly the same as the little envelopes?
Just give it here, I have to fix it.
Big
It's
L.
supposed to.
Big L. Fat L. That looks like one heck of a book over there.
Roy, did you see the new Battleground scene?
No.
Really, it's lit.
Me.
Tyson's over there looks like he's with a freaking.
Do all the words there.
He looks relaxed.
I like how Tegan's just nice.
I'm done.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, Brandon's not done.
Right.
We got another.
There you go, Brantley. That still doesn't look anything like it. You want my help?
Did you get it?
No, he doesn't have it. To the window, to the walls. Like the window.
Oh, these typed the wrong number in, I know that. I know that. I told you that.
You get it?
Yep.
Are you kidding me? That was very unnecessary.
The graph looks perfect now. Yeah, I don't know what you did.
It's the wrong number, I told you that already.
Well, then fix it.
All right. So with this, is this a negatively skewed, symmetric, or positively skewed graph?
Symmetric or positive skewed.
It is positively skewed. Okay? So if I were to draw on a line, it'd go up and then down. Okay, so it is positively skewed. So when I go to letter B here, when we want to describe the center and spread of the data, since it is skewed, you need to use the 5-number summary.
Bro.
Okay? So to find that, you don't have to do what we did to find the 5-number summary before. Your calculator does it all for you. Okay?
Press that and hit
So you need to press stat. You need to go to the right one so that it says 1 var stats. Okay? Then you want to press enter so it shows up on your screen. Okay? Then you just have to press enter and it gives you the mean, standard deviation. It should be.
It said
Your numbers were off.
Well, no, I didn't even go to that thing when I clicked enter. It took me to a list and then.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to press, that's because mine is a little bit different than yours.
Yeah. Freaking messing with us. I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah, it's feeling
You got it?
I don't know how.
Got it?
What's that? Over.
No, it's a lot more than 10.
Well, why did I do this?
Jesus, Sarah,
I need
it's a
L1.
lot.
But I'm
She's, Sarah's like,
Yours says L2, so you need
Sarah's
to
like,
press
I am not writing down.
second L1,
I'm
and
not
then round calculation.
then you really want to go for a wild ride.
So here you have your mean, that's X bar. All right, focus now. X bar is your mean. Okay, you have your variance, and you have your standard deviations here. Now there are 2 standard deviations. This one with the S is your sample standard deviation, so that's where we use the n-1 value. Okay, when we divided. This one is your standard deviation of a population. So if you have the entire population, you can use this one. And then your n value is 32. If I scroll down, so if you push your down arrow, it gives you your 5-number summary. So you have your minimum, your quartile 1, your median, quartile 3, and your max.
Holy crap.
Okay? So you can use that to describe the center and spread. Okay, so your prices then range from $374 to $915. Okay, so you could write something along those lines. Your median price is $530.50. And then half of all of your computers are priced between $451.50 and $665. Okay, so you just have to describe what your 5-number summary is saying. I have prices between these two. My median price is this one. And then something about one of the quartiles. Okay, so that's what you would use if it's a skewed. If it wasn't skewed and it was asymmetric, you'd want to use the mean here. That's x bar. And your standard deviation. Okay, to describe what was happening with that data. Okay, so we're going to do another example on the back here. So, example 2, Tyler and Jordan are working through several brain teasers on the computer. The time in minutes that it took to complete each game is shown. Okay, so you have Tyler's minutes and you have Jordan's minutes. So we want to use a graphing calculator to create a histogram for each data set. So first we're going to do Tyler's. So again, this is just what we did on the front with all of our data. You need to go to Stat, Edit, so Enter. You want to delete this whole first list here. So go up to L1. Press clear and then enter, and it should clear everything out. And then we want to type in all of Tyler's minutes.
Rapid. Yep. More.
You should have 20. 20 total numbers.
Then we have to go.
Okay, so
The second.
once you have all of those numbers in, you can again press second and then stat plot, which is that upper left one there. Okay, make sure that your plot 1 is on and all the other plots are off. Okay, it should still be on and it should still be under a histogram, so you should be fine. We shouldn't have to do anything else with that. Okay, then we want to
Window.
change our window.
It's at 10.
Yeah.
We're at 0, 0, 10.
I'm going to try and see if this works. Yeah. Okay, so I did 0 to 10. You don't need to go up to 10 just because your values here are all less than 10. So you could go up to like 8 to make it a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I got it.
Why is mine doing a line?
Because you can change all your stuff. Bro, you made your max.
You have some nice graphs here.
Oh, I think
Let's do Tyler.
No, it was 0.
So where do we do
Yes.
Then what? Then we got good.
What do you have up again?
Stat.
Yellow. Yeah, it's yellow.
Your actual So you do want to copy down this graph. So since this was Tyler's, it just has to be a rough sketch. Okay, so here, here,
Isn't that like the same graph we just
similar. Okay, so this is the rough sketch of Tyler's graph. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now I do want to, since this is skewed, right? Is it positively or negatively skewed? It's positively skewed, right? So we need to find the 5-number summary. Okay? So to find our 5-number summary, what do we press? Stat. To the right, so it goes to calc. And then we need the bars, 1-bar stats. Press enter. If yours comes up with which list to press, you need L1, and then you need to go down to calculate. Okay? Mine doesn't need that. Is that what you got? So you need to press stat, go over to calc, so it's highlighted. You'll press enter so that we have 1-bar stat. And then you can press enter again. Then you gotta make sure it says L1 for list 1. And then you have to go down to calculate. You didn't press enter after you pressed this. So we need the 5-number summary for this. So if I go down, that's where our 5-number summary is. So you want to write out those 5 numbers. So our min is 2.8. Quartile 1 is 3.45. The median is 4.35. Quartile 3 is 5.15. And the max is 6.1. Okay, now we want to do the same thing with Jordan's minutes. So we want to create that histogram, so we need to enter in all of his minutes as well. Yeah, you can delete that one.
Or you can delete that one now?
Yeah. So stat, edit, clear your list 1, press enter, then enter all of Jordan's minutes. Oops. Not what I said. So again, you should have 20 values there. Make sure you know how to get to the graph. So if you don't remember how to get to the graph, flip your note sheet over. Remember there's those directions on the very bottom. Yep, you can keep the window the same. So you can keep the window the same, you don't need to change it. Make sure everything is...
My computer will freaking calculator on it part of it.
Can you not? Make sure your plot 1 is on, that it has that histogram symbol there. And you should just be able to press graph. And again, you want to just kind of copy down a rough sketch of what's happening. Off to the right here.
this one's symmetric. So what do we do on symmetric? Try the same thing as we do for every other one.
My sketch is really easy.
You right.
It's like a line.
You just gotta go to
So with this problem, we are going to compare the two. So since one of them is skewed, we're going to use the 5-number summary for both. If you were just describing one of the graphs and that was Jordan's, you would want to use the mean and standard deviation. But since Tyler's is skewed, we're going to use the 5-number summary for both. So you want to get to that 5-number summary. So make sure you're able to do that. Okay, to get to your 5-number summary, you need to press Stat. Go to the right one so Calc is highlighted. Press Enter so you have the 1 var stats. And then you want to press Enter again so that all of your data shows up. Okay, then scroll down to your 5-number summary. And you should have a minimum of 2.7. Quartile 1 is 3.75. Your median is 4.35. Quartile 3 is 5.4. And max is 6.4. Could you all get to the 1 var stat to get that 5-number summary? All right, so we kind of did letter A to the right here. We just want to describe the shape of each. So we said Tyler's was positively skewed. And what is Jordan's? It is symmetric. Okay, so Jordan's graph was symmetric. So I'm gonna write for letter B here. So in letter B, we want to compare the distributions using either the means and standard deviation or the 5-number summaries. So we're going to use the 5-number summaries. Okay.
How am I going to do this at home if I don't have the special calculator?
You're not. So one
Homework.
distribution is skewed.
Eric, you still have homework, don't we?
The other is symmetric. So use the 5-number summary. Okay, so we just have to compare the two 5-number summaries then. So both have a median. Of what? 3.5. Huh? Yeah. So both have a median of 4.35. What? The medians are both 4.35?
That's not like
You know, I wasn't done writing, so.
I was showing you what I had written down. Okay. But 50% of Tyler's times occur between 3.45 and 5.15. So I used quartile 1 and quartile 3 to do that. So between quartile 1, which was 3.45 if you look at the top by your graph there, and 5.15, that's 50% of all of his times, okay? Then I'm going to do the same thing with Jordan's. So we'll Jordan's times occur between 3.75 and 5.4. Okay, so that's smaller.
Oh my gosh, so freaking rainy.
Relax. Interquartile range for Jordan. Suggests that he was slightly more consistent than Tyler. Hence his is a symmetric distribution. Okay, he was a little bit more consistent than Tyler was in his minutes for that game.
You go back to the top.
This way?
No, right.
Okay, any questions on that? I know you're not gonna finish this, but you can start. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one problem. It's just like what we did on the back here with Tyler and Jordan. Okay, so at least try and get the data for the third period graphed and drawn out. Okay, so at least try and get the third period data graphed and drawn out. Okay, so type in all of the third period data, draw that histogram, and
I'm debating
see if you need the 5-number summary or the mean and standard deviation.
Stick your finger on it.